Hey, residents of Meepletown, today we are human, or machines, or fallen, or legion, or outlaws, lots of different things that we could be, and we are trying to accomplish lots of different tasks depending on what we are. So,
human punishment.
Let's get to the table and check out Human Punishment, the beginning.
Human punishment. Bobby Newport. You're supposed to do it with me.
I'm not going to do that.
Bobby Newport. Parks and Rec?
I got you. I got you. All right, here is the setup for...
That was hugely disappointing.
That
you would not join me in something as simple as a show that you really love.
Oh, I thought you meant your joke was hugely disappointing.
I mean, no. You were. Basically in life, you're a huge disappointment to me, Dean.
Oh my goodness. That's the kind of battle we're going to have in this game, it looks like. All right, here is the setup for Human Punishment. You're going to see there is a lot going on in this board. And in this, in the gameplay...
It's not so bad, though.
No, it's not. But in the gameplay video, we're not going to get to every single thing you're going to do in the game. We're going to play through a couple rounds to kind of show you the gist of the game. But basically, you need to know this is the main board. We're going to be moving around and doing different things here. We have our player boards off to the side. You might not be able to see those perfectly, but I'll try to zoom in on those as we have those actions. Off camera completely, we have a control board, and I'll show some pictures of that as well, just to show that that is going to control the different machines, Apex and Deus, that could be coming out into the game. We've got cards over off camera. We can't fit everything on here, John. It's just too much.
It is, but it is going to be fun diving in. I'm excited about it.
It definitely is. Okay, so what's going to happen is we have some characters that are going to be human. We have one that is a machine. In a 4-player game, this is the setup for it. One that's a machine, and then you have one that could either be a legion or the Fallen, okay? Each of them is going to have their own specific objective that they need to be able to win the game. For example, the humans are trying to make sure that the machines don't take over the world, and so what they're trying to do is to get their data chips into the network to prevent the machines from, again, infiltrating everything and destroying them. Punishing the humans, all right? So the machines, they're trying to get their own data chips into the network so that they can build up this super machine and destroy all of humanity. Or not necessarily a machine, but like lots of different things.
They got really dark really quick.
Imagine if the robots took over. That's what would happen if the machines won this game. If the Fallen wins, they're the guys hanging out in the junkyard. They got to get 3 gray chips in here or 2 here in the network and 2 in the junkyard, and they'll win at the end of the game. And then Legion can win from some other ways too by getting the... keep pointing up here because the control
threat
board,
level or
security, yeah. So if security gets down to 0, or if the threat level, the enemy threat level gets up to 4... Midnight. Threat level midnight, then they will win the game. All right, we're ready to jump into this?
Yeah, let's go. Let's roll.
Is that good explanation?
Yeah, and so I do want to say, too, that we are going to kind of... Obviously, when we're playing this game, we're not going to be revealing our roles, but we're not going to be playing. We're going to play a couple rounds through this game. So we would rather kind of reveal to the camera and you all what the roles are, so we could talk through why we're making decisions. Than kind of. We just thought it would be a better video. So, Dean's starting off with old Nova.
So Nova,
she looks awesome.
Is the runner? Yeah, she's probably my favorite in the game.
She's
honestly.
Cool.
I like her a lot, and also fairly simple too. By the way, everyone is going to have, like I said, their player boards, and they're going to have advantages, disadvantages, and then some boosts that they can get along the way. So Nova's big thing is she is fast. Okay, she can move 2 spaces on her turn,
which is a big deal.
Huge deal in this game, especially if she's a human. That's really helpful for the humans because she'll more quickly be able to get data chips into the network that match up. Now, if she's a machine, that's bad news, and you want to put her away in isolation. But
is she a human?
She is a human in this game. And in fact...
Of course, we would never be revealing this right now.
Yeah, we would never do this, but to show you why we're going to make the decisions that we make. Also, with her objective, every character is going to have their own objective. If you want to win the game, you have to complete your loyalty objective as well as your personal objective. So she has to
have the 2 columns here and do that, or she doesn't win.
That's right. And so in this case, at least one time during the game, the resource marker has to get down to 4 or less, which is kind of helpful for her. This was a good draw for her because one of her advantages is that she can draw 4 cards from resources instead of just drawing 3. And we'll explain all that as we go because we'll take those actions. But this objective actually works out really well for her if she's able to complete her loyalty objective.
So what is she going to do, Dean?
Right off the bat, she's going to take a chip.
That was another lucky roll.
So randomly...
And they're randomly
you roll the dice and they will land in these different areas of the board. You got one here, 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 all across the board. Anywhere that has these numbers
blue,
on
yeah,
there.
and these blue lines kind of outline the spots and stuff like
That's
that.
right.
And now this might look busy because of the big overhead shot, and there is stuff going on, but it does not look probably as busy as it does with the overhead shot.
That's
just
right.
So you know.
Normally,
it looks really great.
The player boards would not be so like right next to the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll explain all that. But yeah, luckily she rolled up here so that she can take a chip, and she will do that. So now what she's going to do is she's going to draw this. She'll look at it and she'll equip it onto her board. And then John's going to move up the counter 1. Now, if those counters get beyond more than 2 to be able to draw, you cannot draw chips from this. And I'll explain what that means.
So if she was on 2 here and or Dryden wanted to come up and do it, he couldn't because he's 2 more than this one and this one.
Yes, that's right. It would move it up to 3, which is more than 2.
Which is cool. It prevents it from just taking all of them from one sector.
That's right. Now she's going to look at this and equip it into her network data. Now she's got this ready to go.
Do you want to show them what it is?
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Well.
You'll see anyway. So she did, in fact, draw a blue data chip.
It would seem as though someone set this up. I tell you what. Start over there.
Maybe we did.
Data chip.
Now, one thing you need to know is that these all have different stacks, and you can see kind of on the board maybe. And that one, you start off with 6 blue, 3 red, and 2 black.
So there was a good chance it was going to be blue.
Yeah, 2 of the black, which is what the Fallen needs. And but she can equip 2, but the thing is, because she can run so fast, she might, and she will, she's just going to run for it, right? She's just going to run. She can go from this area.
It'd be good to show them what that's
move to an adjacent area. She'll move here. Now, again, she can move 2. So I think what she's going to do is immediately, boom, she's going to go here. She's here in the city as her first movement. Now she can move from here over to the network. And now when she does that, she can place one of these, and it's unrevealed onto the network. Now, the only time that this would ever be revealed in the network is if you have these scanners. If you pick up 2 of these scanners along the way, then you can choose to get rid of those scanners and place it face up to show your loyalty.
Sure, yeah.
Now, Nova...
Or to pretend that you're showing loyalty.
That's right. Now, Nova, as her disadvantage, is that she cannot pick up these scanner tokens. She can't equip them because she's got too many data chips she's got to hold on to.
She can't prove it.
She can't prove it. Which is scary. Nova can be scary for that very reason. So she is going to take that. She's going to put it in tier 1 in that spot. You can never like just randomly put them up here. They have to go, kind of in those spaces adjacent to that.
So these players don't know what to think right now.
Right.
They kind of want to be happy, like the ones that are humans, but are not sure. Like, wow, what if she's the machine and just already put one in there that fast? And also, yes, that was a perfect turn. It's not going to be this easy to go back and forth and do this because machines, as you're going to see, are going to come out and different things are going to happen. And as Dean will explain, we might not get to all of them. You can, like he mentioned earlier, you can put people into a jail or whatever it is, isolation cube and stuff. So if you suspect that she is, a machine, you could stop her in her tracks from doing all this, which is really cool.
That's right. Now, I neglected at the very beginning of the turn, I did not say this. You draw up your card, sorry. So in this case, she's going to draw 3 cards. She would have done this at the very beginning before taking her action. Sorry about that. Everyone else will do that from now on. Now, also, again, I mentioned if you have the security chips or scanners, you can put those face up, but also you could get a level boost for that, or you could draw a program card. Now, she can't do that, so her only thing is that she's going to take a program card, okay? So she'll just take this. This will be secret. She has a limit of 1 program card that she can have, so she's going to have to discard 1 of these that she's not going to like.
And they're going to give you just a bonus, or they could be perpetual bonuses, all kinds of just different little things.
That's right. So we'll just throw that off camera. That one's going to be out of play. She'll have 1 program card. She'll be able to get maybe another one a little bit later. Okay, now that is the end of her movement and action turn. Now she would also, in Sector 3, she would move, set the guard down 1, which is what she'll do. So we don't forget that.
And that's really just going to affect the way that you're drawing these network tokens and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
all of these stacks, you get the chips, and we'll show some of that. You get them in different ways. Okay, so she has her 6 cards. She doesn't have to discard anything beyond the program card that she just discarded. Okay, now that I've taken my actions and I have discarded down to my cards, what we will do now is move into the enemy activation phase, which you would normally roll the orange die. Normally, actually, in the rule books that we have right now, you're going to roll all of the dice. The orange die is not going to matter right now because we don't have any enemies out onto the board. In a 4-player game, you don't start with any. In a 5 or 6-player game, you do start out with crawler.
And that would reveal which, if they're in one of the sections, what would activate. They would attack if we're in their section or in their target range, so forth and so on.
That's right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to roll the red and the white dice, and this is going to show what enemies come out. Maybe nothing.
8.
Oh yeah, something does come out. Okay. So we will have the worst one.
A 9 to a 12 would have been nothing.
Yeah. So the thief is going to come out.
Oh.
What the thief is going to do is not attack, but he will try to steal data chips.
He's not always the worst. Yeah.
He's the worst for Nova. Nova really doesn't like the thief. All right. He's going to be a level 1. You're going to add the white dice together, which is going to be a 5, and that's going to show you where...
oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing.
It's going to show you where they go. Now, there's 2 5 spots. If, for any reason, let's say this other 5 was covered up, and I rolled a 5, then that's how we would move up on the enemy threat level because there's no place to put that, put the enemy. All right, now we will...
Which would be great if there were a Legion character.
That's right. Now we will draw our event card. John's got those over there, so he's going to give us an event tier 1 card because that's the tier that we're on right now. Ready?
Yep. Let's see what happens.
All right, boom. So now what this says is that we have to place into a pile a total of 7 or more value.
Positive.
Yeah, positive value. That's right, positive value, because some can be negative, some can be positive. And if we do, Deus is going to move up too, which you cannot see on that. That's bad. So even if we complete this, that's bad because Deus, that's waking up Deus, basically.
Which is the horrible monster from the pit of Hades.
That's right. That's trying to invade
we do
the
not,
network.
Unless you're... Yeah. Most characters don't, unless you're a machine. Well, no, the machine... Never mind.
Okay. Now, if we are unable to do this one, then the threat level is going to move up 1. I mentioned that. That's the way that the Legion or the Outlaws will win. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. Outlaws basically the board itself. So everyone loses if the Outlaws win, basically.
Yeah, the security or that.
So that bumps up the threat level over there, and if that gets to 4, then everybody loses. And you discard 1 unrevealed Sector 3 chip in the junkyard. Now, right now, we don't care as much about this. Deus is also low on the scale, too, so we don't necessarily care that much about that. So we can talk and say, I can help a little bit, none, or a lot. That's basically all we can say. Starting with Nova, Nova can say, yeah, I can help out, and it might help with not having the threat level, okay? So I'll help out a little bit. So what Nova would do is take... I'm going to place 2 cards in there, okay? Now, you can never place more than 3 cards into this pile. Now, back over
And it will not be revealed what they're placing in there.
That's right.
It won't be revealed who the character was. So
you won't know who
you can lie about it.
That's right. Dryden thinks he can help a little bit, but he only has 3 cards right now. He says, well... I don't think I have much that I can help with. Now, even if he does, you don't know. You don't know what he has. So he's declining to place anything more for self-preservation because he doesn't want to lose his cards.
Yeah.
All right, now over to
and I think Fake's going to say the same thing. Ooh. I think Fake's going to just say, you know what, y'all, this is really not that bad. All right, so Fake, I'm going to go ahead and just spill the beans, of course. Fake is, and I'll talk about this a little bit more on my turn, is the machine. So Fake really actually wants the Deus to come out because if it comes out and it ends here, then it's a machine victory. So he's going to say, sure, I can help out. And he's not going, no, he's going to say, I can help out.
He is going to help out. Okay.
I'm going to help out. And I'm going to help out quite a bit. I'm just not going to really reveal that. I'm just going to say, yeah, I can help out. Because the reason I'm not going to reveal it is I hope more people maybe throw some more cards in because the machine also wins if you run out of resources. So I want people to spend cards. So I'm going to be like, yeah, I can help out a little.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about Faka doing that, though. Like, just some of the inside, like, behind-the-scene thoughts of this game, okay? the chances of Feka being a machine are pretty high. So the disadvantage for Feka is that he has to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
And if one of them is a machine, he has to take it.
Which is what literally happened off chance.
That's
we did it for real.
Yeah, we actually did not stack that or anything. But the likelihood is much higher. So now that Feka's putting one in there, we're all thinking, okay, all right, probably Feka is more of a... probably the machine.
What's also interesting in this game is that all the decks are really different. And so I'm just going to show you that now that we go to my Fighter Havoc, it's almost all red cards.
Yeah.
So what the fighter, what he's saying...
And the runner's almost all blue cards, which means that they're probably going to be...
That's right. And so the thing is the fighter's going to say, guys, I think you have it. I'm good with this. He has a blue card but doesn't want to spend it, like one of his rare blue cards, to be able to help this, especially when he thinks that if these folks are telling the truth, we're going to get it, potentially. So he's going to say, I'm just going to save my cards, y'all. You know that I'm a fighter. I'm a lover, I'm a fighter, not a lover. All right.
Okay, there's only 3 in there. Nova knows that she didn't put too much. She only put a total of 4.
And he's not so worried if this happens. It's not the end of the world.
Yes.
That's the other
Nova is maybe a little bit concerned of that threat level going up so early in the game. And so once it comes back to her, since she was the active player, she can actually throw another one in there. Or, again, as many up to 3 total. So now she's thrown 3 in there. If I wanted to throw 2 more, I cannot.
Okay.
So she did throw 1 more in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw 2 from the top of the resource pile. Because that adds to some of the randomness and knowing who actually did what, right? Now we're going to shuffle these under the table, and you're thinking, well, hey, all the backs are the same. Yes, but we're not going to reveal what the backs are. We're only going to reveal the what you see. So now we're looking for 7 or more for this to be completed. Yowzers, okay?
It's got an event skill check.
So now this is the
next blue, which would have been this.
Right, that counts twice. I just kind of fanned those out there to show you. It really didn't matter just because we
easily got it.
We easily got it. X doesn't count for anything. It could count for other events that happen later.
But we could have easily drawn some reds.
That's right.
Easily from that resource pile.
Yeah.
So Feka was happy because it got her to play another card there at the end.
That's right.
But anyways.
That's right. Okay, so we did complete this successfully. Right. Deus is going to move up 2, which makes Feka a very happy machine.
Yep, happy. All right.
Now over to Dryden. I'll take Dryden's turn real fast. Now Dryden, I'll go ahead and talk about Dryden's loyalty, okay? Dryden is the Fallen, okay? Now, what that means, again, is that he's trying to get gray chips into the network and, at very least, into the junkyard, okay? So, actually, looking back on that last event that came out, Dryden's pretty happy that one came out because he didn't want a random chip to be taken out of the junkyard, out of the game, if he had placed a gray one there. So, that made Dryden very happy. But he's going to have to go over there and pick up some of those cards. So, first thing he's going to do is draw 3 cards. Did I do that already? I did not. Okay. 3 cards. Dryden has 1 action point and 1 movement. And I think what Dryden is going to do is, since I am in that sector 3, I think what I will do is...
Just stay there?
Yeah, I'm going to stay there. I'll stay there and then I will draw. So if it's at 2 or 3, I'm just going to draw
we're
and
at
equip
2
1.
Right now, so...
That's right. Draw and equip 1, which is going to move up the counter on there. That's all right. And then the guard automatically goes up to 3 once I do that. Now the way, again, you saw that the guard token is going to move down once you're placing data chips in here, but it immediately goes up to 3 whenever you take one out of there. Okay, so Dryden is going to take that chip and put it into the network. And is it a gray one? We don't know. But if it is, that's bad news for the rest of the players. Dryden will go ahead and... let's see. Dryden's going to stay here.
So that Havoc can come.
So Havoc wants to come over here and be able to get something from here, and you have to have 2 players over here. So they've talked about it. Dryden says, "Okay, I'll agree."
He wants to be a team player right now.
Dryden wants to be a team player.
That he might be.
That's right. So we will roll for the activation, which in this case we'll roll all of the dice. In this case, all right. We're going to roll these. Activation in Sector 5, in Area 5 is going to happen. We don't have anything there.
Should be that.
But we will take the number 7. Another thief is going to come into this game. Again, Nova is not very happy with that, and she can't do much because her attack strength is 0. So the thief is going to go into Sector 10, which is a terrible spot for the thief to go, because that means whenever any of these areas activate, it's going to activate and try to steal something. Now, this is really bad because Nova's right here, and if you enter into the area of the thief, it doesn't have to activate. Even if you just enter into the area, then it will try to steal from you. Thankfully, Nova doesn't have anything, so she doesn't have to worry about it. Now, Dryden doesn't have to... sorry, he didn't have to discard down to his cards, but I did need to flip over an event card, and we'll do that, and Dryden's turn will be done. Turns don't always take this long. It's just I'm trying to explain.
We're talking through it all, yeah.
So this one is riding at the sectors. So if we need to get a -9 or less, and if we do that, nothing happens. If we don't, then we're going to move down on the resource. Resource go down 1, and then spawn locations 2, 3. One of those will be destroyed. And remember, that's not good for the threat marker. We already have a really bad threat, so we're going to want to be successful on this one.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you're Legion, and I think we've already said we know that there's no Legion in this game, so
also,
nobody wants that to happen.
Well, the machine's is not against that, because taking this down another resource.
That's true.
Actually,
that's
so
true.
Go ahead.
All right, so... but as Dryden doesn't have a dog in the fight on this one as far as that threat level, other than losing the game, and so Dryden says, "No, I'm gonna put some in there, not a ton, but a little bit."
Okay, Fake's gonna say to try to be. He actually wants this to happen. Might as well let the resources just drain. So he's gonna basically say he's not gonna show this obviously, but he's gonna say, you know what, I can help. I can't help a lot, but I can help. I've only got 3 cards here. I can only do what I can.
Okay.
So he's going to look like a team player. Havoc definitely doesn't want that to happen. So Havoc has seen, it's got to be 9. That's significant.
9 is a lot.
Yeah, and Havoc has a ton of red cards in the deck. So Havoc just doesn't want it to happen. So he's going to go ahead and place 2 cards in there and say, you know what, I can help a decent amount.
Okay, comes back around. Nova, as everyone knows, does not have a lot of red cards. So she says, I can't help at all. So she's not going to put anything into there. Dryden now has an opportunity again to put more in there. There's 4 cards to get -9, which is not super high, but Dryden only has 1 other red card that he doesn't want to lose. So he's going to say, nope, I'm going to run the risk.
Okay.
Take 2 of these resource cards. Again, we are going to...
And we may be getting red cards out of the resource as well, so... I mean, it's just a little bit of risk.
Yeah. Shuffling these up.
I mean, last time we drew blue cards, it helped us.
That's right. Okay. Now, we have a lot of negative cards in here, which is really... Wow. So the resource cards, nobody's lying in there. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6,
We've gotten so lucky on the resources.
7. Yeah, plenty. We got like 12 or 13 in that, I think. Yeah. Don't count my math. These will go here. Nothing happens, which is good for everybody. Mm-hmm. Everyone celebrates.
There you go.
Okay, where's my discard?
Here, just give it to me.
There we go. Okay. That one actually, some of those discard out of the game, and that is one of the ones that goes directly out of the game. We won't get to all of them anyway.
Okay, so Fake's turn, right?
Fake's turn.
We're ready to go? Okay, so I will draw up on my turn. Okay. Now, Fake's deck is pretty interesting. He or she, it's a machine. I don't know. Ding. I don't know.
I need my coffee.
All right, so it's going to have a pretty good mixture of different cards is what's interesting about Fake. Fake is thinking a couple things, first of all. Fake is already here, could pick up a pistol or a rifle down here in headquarters just to kind of power up and be able to do some more damage. I think Fake is going to do that, actually. No, Fake is not, because Fake doesn't have... No. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Fake is going to play like a team player a little bit. Plus, Fake actually doesn't love these people that are out here because they can steal chips from Fake. Because Fake does want to bring chips over here. So at the beginning of the game, Fake is going to say, kind of play team player-ish. Maybe wouldn't...
Say Fake again.
Fake. Might not normally do this, but just going to say, just try to get some loyalty. And say, you know what, I'm going to come and I'm going to attack this fella right here. Okay. Okay. So...
and as you can see, it's part of the same area. It might be hard to see that, but this is all part of the same area, and so that...
And it's really annoying when they're on those spots where they could do damage to a lot of different spaces. So I'm going to be the hero. But try to be the hero. Okay? All right, so now I'm trying to be the hero. The machine hero. I am going, but no one knows that. I am going to move 1 spot, which is what I'm able to move. And then I'm going to initiate in this battle. Now, whenever that happens, what I'm going to first do is, depending on what this red card level is next to my character, means that I can play 1 red card. Which that's going to have to do with this character's shield. How many shield does that character have, Dean?
It's got 2 shield on
2 shield. Okay. And so, luckily, I've got some pretty serious cards. Faker wants to just go ahead and take this character out. Or does he? He could be pretending like he's going to be the hero. But also, again, he doesn't mind taking that away to maybe shift some... That's the challenge, though, because if she can do it a lot faster, then he's really hurting himself, potentially.
Now, we do know that her attack is 0, and so she would have to have a weapon or a card that helps
I'm
her.
going to try to show some loyalty early in the game. All right.
Yeah, so flip that over.
I'm going to flip this over, and I just played a 5.
Wow, which is really high. And now what we will do for the thief, for the level 1 thief, we're going to flip over a resource card.
Wow. So
they want blues. Reds are bad for them. And
blue would have boosted, so the shield was 2. If this would have been a 2 positive, it would have been 4, which -5 still beats that.
That's right.
But if we would have drawn a 3 or a 4, then I would have lost that thing.
That's right. That's right. And now, and I think you mentioned this, but you can only play 1 card. You can't play multiple cards, or depending on what your character ability says on there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so these will go into the discard pile. John,
and I hit for 1, which takes that person out.
Since John defeated a level 1 enemy, then he will be able to draw 1 card. If it was a level 2, he'll be able to draw 2. That one's going to...
And it does remind me... Sorry, I made a mistake earlier, and we'll talk about the leader and general later on. But because Fake is the general, when he or she is the leader or the general, you're going to draw an extra card in your turn. So I should have done that at the beginning of my turn. Now
we're going to activate these enemies. Yeah, go ahead.
Whoops.
And then put some new ones out there.
Definitely putting new ones out there.
So the 5 is going to activate. There's nothing there. We got that. So then we'll put out the... We're going to put out a crawler. Now, crawler's a little bit different because they're not going to worry about what sector. They're going to go directly here.
Okay.
And what they're going to do is the crawlers are trying to, like the Apex, or Deus, excuse me, like the Deus, they're going to be moving along this path to get to the network. And if they get into the network, then bad things are going to happen, right? Our security is going to go down once our security is going to go down. That's how that goes down, is from crawlers going to the network.
Which is not good.
There we go.
All right, so here we go.
Leader chooses.
Okay, so this is one of... we said that there's reasons to be the leader and the general, which can change and shift in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So leader just gets to choose this. Threat level +1. Ooh.
The morale's going to
go down, which is the outlaw, which isn't that bad because we're all the way up here. That's actually not bad.
And then all players draw 2 cards.
Or 1 supply box at location.
Yeah, at whatever location we roll for.
The Deus goes up 3 more. Wow, that is not great.
Faker would have loved that one.
The threat level hasn't gone up. I think to keep it balanced, the leader Havoc is going to pick to go ahead and increase the threat level and
the morale drop down. That's right. For some reason,
I also get cards too.
I forgot that we had that one that moved up the threat level, but we actually didn't do that one. I was thinking that we were already up 1 on the threat level.
That's right. If we would have been up a threat level, then I would have.
So maybe John's telling the truth.
That. Yeah. So we all get to draw 2 cards though.
There we go.
So that was cool. All right. And so now,
did you move the morale down already?
I did.
Okay.
And so now we've got a fighter, 1, 2, and he's going to draw his 3 cards. So Havoc has a decent amount of cards here. Okay. So Havoc's thinking a couple things on his turn. One is, if you don't take these guys out, it's going to get crazy. Crazy. He does not like that this machine's already here.
Yeah. But the crawlers can be really bad.
It's just this balance in this game, like, big time, because you want to get chips over. You got to get the chips over here. And he doesn't know if Dryden or Nova are on his team. He's hopeful that she is. He's hopeful that Dryden is, and Dryden's not. But he's already here, and he can go ahead and take this monster out, or attempt to, and then move over here for next turn, and that's going to be his choice. So now he gets to play 1 card as well for the shield, and their shield is 2. What makes him nervous a little bit is all he has is a 3, is the highest card that he has.
Ooh, okay.
So this is a little bit of a risk here, but he thinks it's worth the risk at this moment in the game.
All right, so then we will flip over this. So this says if it was an event skill check, which it is not, then that would happen. Otherwise, you can draw that. So in this situation, this card won't count for anything. It's just going to be a 2 shield. I think that was quite the risk, John. Yeah, I mean,
go big or go home.
I guess so. It did happen. Oh, goodness gracious, can't pick up the card.
All right, and then he has 1 health, Havoc, because he's a fighter. He deals 2 damage, so there you go.
There we go.
So now, put that in the discard pile too. Since you can
now, the reason why I didn't do this, I'm going to go ahead and
Draw
explain
a
this.
card.
When enemies come out on the board, normally what you would do is you would put a health chip under there. You can't see that from the top front down view, and all of these are only a value 1, so I just put them out there as that. But I want to make sure I explain that rule well so that you know
That's true. They
that
need to
those
know
go
that.
out there. You can see them perfectly well in a regular game.
Oh, absolutely. It's just the top-down view.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to roll. And we are going to activate section 3, which is right here, but no one's in this section, so it doesn't matter.
So we'll not steal anything.
But if someone were, then that would not have been good.
And then a 4, so we are going
goes
to
to
put
5.
a soldier out, which soldiers are just basically like us in how they battle. They have a range of 0, normal attack, nothing super special about them. They're the plainest, I would say, probably of all the enemies.
Okay, so here we go. So 9 or more. Oh, we're going to have the security go down, which no one in this game is a legion, so no one wants that to happen.
Right.
Because the board would win.
And the riding would go down 1. However, if we lose, Deus is going to go up another 2.
Yeah, so no one. I don't think anyone wants this to happen, really.
No. This is bad, because if Deus goes up 2, then it's only a couple more before Deus is going to come out, and that's really, really bad.
Okay.
For everybody except Faker.
Yeah. So Havoc, he only has 1 plus card, but positively it's a +5. But again, he's would not share that with anyone. He's just going to say, I can help out a decent amount.
Yep. Now, Nova knows this. Okay, Nova knows that somebody is the machine and they're going to want Deus to come out and they're close. Mm-hmm. And Nova's not the machine, so she's like, I'm going to help a lot. She actually threw 9 in there.
Wow.
She really wants to make sure that this happens, that there's no mistake in this. Dryden, who's the Fallen, also wants to see this happen, says, all right, there's a lot in there. Nova's probably thrown. She threw 2. She's probably got some good cards. I'm going to help a little bit.
Okay. And Fake is just going to say, I'll help a little bit, and just toss 1 in there.
Okay. Take these. We're going to draw 2 resource ones off the top. Fako really wants those to be negative cards because he knows that more than likely there's a lot of positive ones in there. We're going to shuffle those up under the table. You will flip those over. And then, whoa, 7 came out. Well, that will cancel these right here.
So someone is highly suspicious right now.
This was barely passing. This was exactly 9. So if Nova didn't put 9 in there, that would have been really bad news for everybody. So the security camera, as it is, goes down 1. And then our rioting is going to go down 1. Now that'll be the whole round that we're playing. I just want to explain a few things as we go. Rioting is bad because what happens is that you're going to immediately draw the what you would call it, the events, the bad events. So they're EX events, X events, or whatever that happen during riding, and that's really bad. If you get the riding in the yellow area, then after each turn, the morale is going to go down 1. Now, morale is bad because you lose if morale gets to
Everyone loses.
-10. Everyone loses. That's right. But also, if it's in the yellow area, then during the action phase, you're going to draw 1 less card that you normally would. So if we're drawing 3 cards, you would only draw 2, which is, again, bad for everybody. It doesn't matter. So you really want to make sure that morale doesn't drop too much. I wanted to explain, too, on the player boards. We mentioned them a little bit, but I want to focus a little bit more. You have these boosts up here. Okay, you got these stem shots that are above your board. If you complete one of these, like this one, for example, if I take the Junkyard Action 2, so all I have to do is go up here, take the Junkyard Action 2, which is to investigate a token that's there. Mm-hmm. Then I'll take my stem shot on the green side and put it out there. By the way. That's right. And now she has a reroll once per turn with 1 die. That's her special ability for the rest of the game. You can also move down to level 2 if you've completed level 1, and in this case, I would have to have the morale at greater than or equal to 4. And if that happens, then I would bump that down. And there's 2 sides of this in case you have 2 different things that you have to do to keep track of that. But that gives you an idea of all that. And again, they all have advantages, disadvantages that you really have to be familiar with. They didn't all play out in this gameplay, but we wanted to make sure that you were aware of all of that.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get a chip also was that whenever the Fight Havoc goes over there and plays a chip, and they get that. So that's a positive thing too. Anyways.
Now, another thing, I just say this real quickly. Let's say we figured out that Fake is probably the machine. Well, the humans might...
There would have just been a huge battle, right? A big fight right there.
Yes.
And if we were really... who put those in
That's
there?
right.
Why is there 7
That's
in
right,
there?
because that's a lot. 7, and that one to barely be completed, that was a big, big deal. We would have accused somebody, probably Faka, for being the machine. Now,
Which Faka would have said, I just took out a machine. I just took them out. What are you talking about?
You can go down to headquarters, and as an action, 2 actions, like 2 action points, to be able to do the censure motion to try to vote somebody into isolation, taking them out of the gameplay. Now, they can still do things in there, especially to be able to get out, but really, that wouldn't happen until a little bit later in the game because it takes 2 action points. At the beginning, we only all start off with 1.
There are some cards that can give you extra action points or programs or whatever.
That's right.
So it can happen, but it's much more unlikely till later in the game.
Yeah. In a 4-player game that we're playing as well, once this tier 1 fills up, then we're going to go into the machine phase. And at the end of the human phase, what's going to happen in a 4-player game is everyone's going to close their eyes. The machine is going to discover who the humans are. So the humans will open their eyes or stick their thumbs up to show that they're human, because they won't know. But the machine will see who is the human, so now they have a slight advantage once they're in the human phase. And there could be some loyalty swapping with more players as well. But 4-player game, that's the gist of how all of this plays out.
There we go. And then I didn't mention really quickly that the leader gets to break ties. He gets to equip people that are in the isolation cube and do some things like that with the general. If the general is detained, the general has the final say on the events. So like if we're arguing and all that kind of stuff, we can do those kind of things. He will have the control panel for controlling the apex and the days. So like that's important. So there's just want to make mention that there's bonuses for these, and they can get shifted around as the game progresses.
That's right. And there's lots of other actions on the board that would be pertinent to know, but we wanted to give
over here.
And you can heal from your characters or whatever too as well. We just wanted to give you a gist of how the gameplay plays out, not necessarily like a thorough rules overview. So
I said 2 rounds, but it's just 1 round, y'all. That took a while. We don't want the video to be super long.
Yeah. So let's talk about the art and components as much as we can, because this is a Kickstarter preview that we're looking at. So everything we have is prototype. But with what we have, John, go ahead and
I love the art. I think it's amazing. I love this picture. You know what I mean? I think it's absolutely fantastic in this game. It's beautiful. Yeah. And on the board, there is like a lot of things kind of going on. There are a lot of things kind of going on the board. But I think when you're down close to it, it looks good. The player boards look really sharp with their players on there and stuff like that. The cards look sharp. I have nothing to complain about except for, it's takes a lot of space up on the table, which is a lot.
That's right. Now, in some of this, again, the player boards could potentially shrink down. I know that was one of the conversations. This is kind of the deluxe version. We're looking at poker chips with stickers on those.
That's awesome, though.
That's not exact, final. It's not final, but honestly, I think they look really cool. The symbols on there, like the light bulbs that you see on the loyalty cards and those, I think are really cool.
They're great.
In the regular retail version, the enemies will have these cardboard tokens instead of the poker chips, which honestly, these are fine too.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the poker chips.
I love the poker chips, but for me,
they're fantastic.
Oftentimes, I'm happy to go for the cheaper version, I guess.
Yeah,
it is hard to turn those down.
Especially for the data chips, because you're like, it feels like this data chip that's going into your character that you're equipping. I love that. I think it's cool. So again, prototype material, just, it is what it is. This is what we have to go off of, but we both really like it.
Yeah, especially the art is just fantastic.
Yeah. The theming comes out in the art so strongly, for sure. How about the gameplay?
All right, so as we always say with our Kickstarters, we do not give final ratings and all that kind of stuff. We just give some thoughts on the gameplay. And what we try to do, if you're new to Meepletown, is just try to help you determine, is this a game for you? I mentioned earlier that the board is really huge. Yeah, you might love that, though. It does create, in the gameplay, a very epic feel to the game. Don't you think so, Dean?
Yeah.
And I believe that this game feels very thematic to me when I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think that the theme is amazing. This idea of humans versus machines and all this kind of stuff. By the way, let me plug. Have you ever seen the show Humans?
No, I'm not.
Well, you're welcome.
Is it based on this board
You're
game?
welcome. No, it's about AI and stuff like
okay.
that. But I fan of that show. Anyways, absolutely love the theme, and it definitely draws you into the theme. And another thing that I really like, and then I'll toss it over to Dean, is in any kind of game where there's that like social deduction, where there's a player that, or players that aren't all playing on the same team, this gives you so many ways to kind of lie your way out of, which I love that, because I don't like games where it's just like, where it's difficult, you know, you have to, like in this, the last game that we played, like, I was Legion, and it was going great for me, but they didn't suspect it because I was able to kind of. There's reasons you can make arguments almost for all of these.
Yeah,
like you can be like make a legitimate argument and go, look, I really think we just go ahead and raise this up. If we lose the security, we're already down. We're 75% of the way towards the Outlaw or Legion victory right here, and people go, man, I guess you may be right about that. So I really love that about the gameplay.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, in a 4-player game, 3-player game, you don't know exactly what's out there, right? Like, and so you can make a lot more arguments about potentially being different things. And I think that leads into what I love about this too, John, is that there are so many different things that you could be doing. You know what I mean? Like, and this is kind of what you said, but like, okay, so for example, the humans they're focused on one thing, getting blue data chips into the network. That's all they're trying to do, which means they're trying to do that fast, because the longer the game takes, the less likely they're going to win, because all these other things could be happening, right? But some of the other characters might want these things to play out. But I love how, like, the machines, for example, it's not just one thing that they're trying to do. They could be doing 3 different things, which really allows them, like you said, to be able to come up with different things that they could be doing. And then there's, you know, the proving your loyalty by picking up these scanner tokens and putting them here. You know, if you really are a human, show me that you're putting a blue chip in here.
Yeah.
A machine might not mind putting a blue chip in there if they know that they're going to win in another area. You know, and I love that brings out, you know.
For sure.
Now, for me, I love these type of games. Battlestar Galactica is a game that I've always really liked, and you can see some of the influences on this game with these event checks, with the cards going in here, and you know, hey, who put that blue card in there when we needed negative cards or whatever. I love how that plays out.
Yeah.
And this, because there's so much more to do in this, like, there's a lot of reasons to really, really love this game for that reason. But at the same time, you need to know, one, this is a time, it's going to take a long time to play this game. But 2, it really is going to, it's going to reward you for a lot of plays of this game. To be able to understand, like, all the intricacies of what the different characters are doing, what all of the different spaces are doing, you know, the need to be quickly about getting chips in here, not dilly-dallying around. Like, all of those things, you're playing this game more and more is really going to reward that. So you need to make sure that you have the time to be able to put into this game.
This isn't Pandemic. You know, this isn't like, I mean, I mentioned the only similarities really are how things get out of control if you're not careful. But like, it's not that difficult to teach. It's not that difficult to play. Would you say? But it's not.
It's a long teach.
It's not a gateway game. It's not a game that's going to. People are going to have to want to play this, right? But when you do, I think you're going to be rewarded, because I think that it feels epic. It feels like we said, all these interesting decisions that you make. I wasn't sure if I would like this, you know, whenever Dean brought it over, but I do. I really like this. I mean, the biggest challenge to me in this game, the only biggest negative would be the time. That it's a big time commitment, because you're doing those events every single round. And now we did go slow. We would have definitely gone faster. People would have known, and we wouldn't have had to talk through all those things.
Sure.
But like, it can go, depending on the group of players, it can go a long time if you're debating. Like, if you have a lot of type A personalities that are debating, oh no, we need to do this or whatever. But I mean, I guess you're just throwing your cards in there. But if you want a immersive, long, great experience, that is what you're going to get. So I think if you're watching the Kickstarter, most people are probably looking for that, and this absolutely gives you that, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna add to that. It can be a negative for some people, but that could be a huge positive. Because of the time that it takes to really engross you into this game. The theme comes out so strong, the story comes out really strong, and you get this really super immersive experience that I think you can only probably get in a game that takes that much longer, because all of these like mistrust things that happen, and trying to throw people in the into isolation. Some of that you see in Battlestar Galactica too, but I think that this offers more of that, like more opportunities to do different things and to see different stories
I've never played
play out.
Battlestar, so
Yeah, it's definitely, you see the influences from this. If you like Battlestar, I think you're going to absolutely really love this game. I really feel that way. But again,
especially with this sweet theme.
Yes, it's
I love
so
the theme.
cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. This theme is
good.
It comes out really strong. So from us, again, this is a paid preview. Take it for what it is. You can see the gameplay that we had, but we both really enjoy this one. I think it's a lot of fun.
It's good.
Just know that it's going to take some time, and you really need to play this a lot to be able to get the most out of the game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when we were playing the first game, like, it took a little bit to kind of understand.
Yeah.
It was easy to let things get out of control very fast.
Yes.
The first time we played the game, not realizing, wow, these are going to start coming if we're not careful, which is why we were taking some of them out in this game. But you can understand how to play it. It's just you may not play optimally at the beginning.
Yeah, in the rulebook, I didn't mention this, but the rulebook actually shows you some tips for your first game of how to play the different characters, which I think is really helpful.
Yeah, you should read those.
Yeah. So anyway, we both enjoyed this one. Check it out if this is something that might interest you. Tell people how they can get in touch with us.
All right, if you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Go to MeepletownGames.com to check out all of our stuff. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.